Mr. Hanson 414. Got it that time. And today I'm going to be going over multi-step equations, how to solve them, some of the strategies to look for them. So it's going to kind of cover a wide range. And then after this video, I'm going to make some very specific targeted ones that'll be relatively short, like just ones with distributive property, just ones with combining like terms. So let's get to it. All right, so here we go, solving multi-step equations. And a lot of people at this point start freaking out, and don't let that be you. Some just basic ways to think about this is we're still doing what we've been doing. We're trying to get the variable by itself isolated on one side, equal to a value, so we know what value makes the equation true. And the only difference is it's a little messier now. So you're going to simplify each side. So if there's any combining like terms that needs to be done, any distributive property that needs to be done, you're going to clean it up. And then you're going to eliminate the variable from one of the sides. Now, I don't follow these rules quite to the T on terms of right or left, because sometimes it makes more sense to go to one side or the other. You don't always have to be on the left side or the right side. But you're going to get rid of the variable, then you can get rid of the constant, and then if there's a coefficient, you divide, and then you get x equals a number. So there's some examples. You can go ahead and put those in your notes if you'd like. We saw this before. Again, the goal of solving an equation is to isolate it, get it by itself. If you get it on one side equal to the number, then you know the value that makes the equation true. That's the whole goal. We're using inverse or opposite operations to make this happen, and we got to keep it balanced. If you do it to one side, you do it to the other. Don't forget those basic things. Again, that's something you write down. I might have a little post-it. Just check little reminders. So distributive property is super common. And you know that you have distributive property when, let me get my handy dandy pen. You have the disk prop when you have parentheses and you have a number outside parentheses. That's telling you that the number on the outside is going to be multiplied by everything on the inside, right? We know that. You're going to simplify. So simplify means actually do the distributive property. So, right here, I would write that I'm doing the disk prop. And I'm going to do this prop by multiplying the x by 2 and the 3 by 2. When I do that, I get this line here. What do you notice? I notice that I have a 6 and a 2, and they're both on the same side of the equation. So that's when you CLT, that cucumber, lettuce, tomato sandwich, combine like terms. Put them together, and that's how you get here with the 8. At this point, you should breathe a little. Woo, woosah that thing, because that's just a two-step, and we all can two-step by now. So that's really it, guys. Do not be afraid of multiple step equations. It's literally just a little messier. So let's keep going. Let's do these. So if you want to try these on your own first because you're feeling confident, go for it. Otherwise, let's do it. So pause if you want to, but here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that train track. And it's really important, really important to do that now, because these equations are getting messier, they're getting longer, there's more stuff, there's more opportunities for mistakes. Look at the left side. I see, don't ignore this little dot, that doesn't need to be there. A -5 outside parentheses, so that tells me I need to use the distributive property. So I'm going to set that up right away. I'm going to look at the right side. Nothing I can do there. Let's leave it alone. 2x minus 5x minus 5 equals 3x, love purple sometimes, plus 1. Okay, looking at it now, does this look like a two-step yet? Because I know that if you guys are paying attention and you're working and you're watching the videos, that two-step video, you should be really good about it. This doesn't look like that yet because you have x's on both sides and you have 2 x's on the left side. When you have 2 x's on one side, just like with numbers, you combine like terms, you CLT. 2 x's combined with a -5x is -3x. Drop the -5. 3x plus 1. We're getting close. You see that, it naturally the equation's getting cleaned up, but you still got x's on both sides. Now, personally, I prefer moving the negative variable when I can, because I don't like dealing with negative people out of my life. I want to get rid of them. So a -3x on the left, to get rid of it, I would add 3x on the left and on the right, and then combine like terms. That makes a 0x or 0. -5 equals 3 plus 3 is 6. 6x plus 1 is 6x plus 1. Now, you should be like, man, I got this, Mr. Hansen. You ain't got to do no more. Stop talking for a second, because this is a two-step equation where you're going to get rid of the 1 using the subtraction property of equality. And then you're going to get rid of the 6 next to the x using the division property of equality. And that's going to get you x equals negative 1. You may see it as negative 1 equals x, but it means the same thing. Igualmente, it's the same. So that's the gist. Again, you may need to replay that. You may need to slow it down and listen to what I'm actually saying. But get some good notes. Write that down. I'm going to get started on this one unless you want to try it for yourself first, which I highly recommend. Failure is okay as long as you're trying. So I got nothing going on the right side. Right side's boring, but I see there's multiple x's on the left and a shared property, so that's going to be some stuff for me to do. Do the disk prop first. I get 3x plus 15 minus 6x equals negative 18. And notice the train tracks keep me nice and organized. I got x's on the two x's on the same side. I combine them. CLT, combine like terms. Get a negative 3x because that's a negative 6 and a positive 3. Plus 15, negative 18. It's a two-step, guys. I know you can do this. You got to say, okay, I got to get this x by itself. What do? I got to get rid of the negative 3, but that's multiplication. Got to get rid of the 15. Get rid of the addition first by subtracting on both sides. Don't get scared by some negative numbers. Negative 18, spent $18. Negative 15, spent $15. You spent $33. And at this point, you divide by a negative 3 on both sides, and you get a positive, because a negative divided by a negative is positive, 11. That is your solution. Now, if you wanted to check it, just go ahead and substitute 11 in up here to both x's and do the math, and you'll see that the left equals the right. All right, so let's keep it going. I had to take a break there. I started this video in the morning. Nope, that's not what we want to do. We're going to get back to that, though. Here we go. So, again, we've kind of been going through how to solve multi-step equations, and now we have to talk about this case. This is the case when you have multiple x's, multiple variables. So you might have an x on both sides, a variable on both sides. And when you do, the goal is still the same. But we got to make sure that we have the x's or whatever the letter is all on one side of the equation. If you got them on two different sides, that's messy. That's not organized. That's not simplified. We got to get all the variables onto one side, all the constants to the other. That's basically what this says. Move the variable terms the same way. So you can add them, you can subtract them, just like you would a constant. So I would write some of these down. So shout out McKenna from earlier for letting me know this little tips of pause, write, rewind, and repeat. Make sure you do that so you get all the information that's coming out of my mouth. So here's an example. So choose a side. Now I like to move the smaller one always. Now you can do whatever you want. That's the beautiful thing about equations, that as long as you do the right stuff, you'll figure out the answer. Now 8 is smaller than 11, so I'm going to move the 8. Otherwise I'll end up with negative numbers. So negative 8y, negative 11y, 4 equals, oop. Look at me making mistakes. A long day of teaching. Remote teaching will do to your brain. We really meant to say negative 8y minus 17. I'm taking 8y away from both sides because I want to get the 4, the constant by itself. So I'm going to subtract 8y. I'm going to get 3y minus 17. Now y'all should be like, okay, Mr. Hansen, I got this, because this is just a two-step equation at this point, right? You got the variable, you're multiplying by 3, and you're subtracting. So you're going to simply add and then divide to get your answer. We're going to add 17 on both sides. 17 plus 4, sadly, is not 38. We're going to get 3y. We added on both sides. And now to finish this problem, we're going to divide by what we're multiplying by. 3y means 3 times y. Divide by 3. And you're going to get 7 equals y, which is the same thing as saying y equals 7. It doesn't matter if it ends up on the left side or the right side. So again, you might want to pause, write down some stuff, rewind, and repeat to make sure you know what we're doing with these multi-step equations. So here's a little practice for you. All you got to do is I would pause it and I would try. I respect failure. I've been saying that all week. You guys got to give yourself a shot. You know, Kobe took the shot. Michael Jordan took the shot. You got to take the shot. You don't take the shot, you can't make it. You might miss it, but you can't even make it. You miss all the shots you don't take. I had a play in the stock market today. It's an option that I was hemming and hawing about, and I should have just done it, and I would have made like $200 today, no problem. But I took too long to make my decision, and I'm out here missing shots. So I'm gonna try to follow my own advice. All right, got some stuff going on. You got X's on both sides. I have a number outside parentheses, and I need to make sure that I distribute that first before I move anything around. Simplify first. I like to have everything simplified before I try moving stuff. So 7 times X is 7X. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. I look at the left side. Can't do nothing yet. Look at the right side. I can combine my constants, and I will. I'll do that before I think about moving an X. So 5X minus 8 remains 5X minus 8. And 13 minus 21, well, the 21 has the larger absolute value, which means I'm going to be a negative number, which will be negative 8 plus 7X. All right, moving along. Well, here we're doing really good. So now I got my 2 X's, 1 on each side. Which one's smaller? 5X, thank you. I'm going to move 5X by subtracting 5X from both sides. This is moving the variables to one side because you got to get all your variables on one side. That makes it 0. That makes negative 8. Drop down, negative 8 equals 2. Not equals. My bad. Hey, I didn't cross it out. Look at me. Now we're going to add 2X. Y'all should be like, bam, 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 two-step. We got this. So add 8 on both sides. Add 8 on both sides. Now some of you might be like, what do I do? A negative 8 plus 8 is 0. You know that. A negative 8 plus 8 is 0. You know that. So let's put 0. Yes, 0 is valid. You can get 0 in an equation. Now 2x equals 8 says that 2 x's are worth 0. So how do you figure out how much 1x is? Well, you divide by 2. 0 divided by any number is 0. If you got $0 and you try sharing it with 100 people, we all getting $0. And I'm going to be upset. Don't share no fake money with me. Pause. Write, rewind, and repeat if you need it. This one's a little more straightforward. We got double distributive property to start. So get them rainbows going. 4x minus 8 and 3x minus 9. Always distribute first if you can, because it just makes it a little more simple to deal with. Now I'm going to ask myself which x is smaller, 4x or 3x. Obviously 3x. How do you get rid of a 3x? You subtract 3x on both sides. You're going to get x or 1x. You can write either way. And now we're looking at a simple one-step equation because we don't even have to divide or multiply. Add 8 on both sides, and x is going to equal negative 1. Look at that. We're out here. So hopefully you guys got those same answers. If not, you should probably go back and check some stuff out. My phone is blowing up, dog. All right. I'm not going to get into this yet because that's time for another video, but this will be something that we're going to talk about. But I do want to talk about this word problem. So if you guys know me, you know I'm always trying to put people on, always trying to help people grow, make some money, figure something out, find happiness. And money and happiness, but you need money to do things that make you happy usually. So a subscription to a finance support group costs $300. This shouldn't have said server to open. Plus $8 per person. That also shouldn't say lunch. I'm tripping. I don't know what happened. Sorry. So let's just pretend that didn't happen. Plus $8 per person. How many people need to go in on it so that the cost is $20 per person? Well, we have to come up with a question. Well, $300 is there, right? Is there a variable next to that? Is it going to change? It's just $300. Now it's another $8 per person, so I got to write an 8. Do I know how many people are there? Boom, boom, boom. Nope. That's where you say, okay, I got to define a variable. Say P equals number of people. So 8P. Now that's one side. And that's going to be equal to something. So equal to how many people need to go in on it so the cost is 20 per person. Well, we wrote $8 per person is 8p. 20 per person would just be 20p. So there's the equation. And if you solve that by subtracting 8 on both sides, you'll get 300 equals 4p. Sorry, 12p. I am tripping. I cannot make videos right after teaching, guys. I just finished wrapping up and this ain't working. 12 goes into 300, 10, 20, 25 times? 25 times. So if 25 people go in on this together, this is the power of group economics and pooling your resources and not just out here trying to do things on your own, that you can get it for $25 a person. So that's our first intro to multi-step equations. It's just like one step, just like two step. You just got to do more steps. Now, you do need to be careful. Make sure that you're distributing whenever possible. Simplify. Make sure you're combining like terms. Make sure that you're combining like terms on the same sides. You're not crossing that equal sign. Also, make sure that you are getting variables onto one side. If you have an x over here and two x's over here, move that one x over there by undoing, adding, subtracting. And then same way as possible as you before, if you get your answer and you want to check it, take it, substitute it back in the original equation. It'll take a little more work than before, but that's all you need to do. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you learned something. Remember, you need to pause, write, rewind, and repeat. We are so close to 300 subs. We're going to get there. We're in the middle of October. Spooky season's here. Enjoy this. Enjoy the weather. Go get some apples, some pumpkins. Go to the Racine Zoo and check out those lights. I did that the other day. And that's all I got, guys. So I'm going to sip my water. Talk to y'all later.